Hi, and welcome to Clappia. In this video, we will see how to fetch data from your Google Sheets into your Clappia apps. Let's take an example. Here I have a very basic and simple sales leads data, as an example, maintained in Google Sheets. To use this information in a Clappia app, I will need to connect the two platforms. Make sure that the format of your Google Sheet remains simple, one row for the headers, and its corresponding data. So I'll go to my Clappia workplace and click on the app that I want the information to go to. I've already created an app earlier called Sales Leads, which captures basic information. And instead of adding fields to manually type in the lead information, I will instead search it from the Google Sheet. So for that, I'll go to Design App, where you can create your app structure. You can see all the earlier fields. Now I'll click on Add Field and select Get Data from Google Sheets. With this block, you can fetch data from your Google Sheet. Configure this block on the right-hand panel. First, I will change its name. Let's say Search Leads. You can also give this field a description if you wish. This is just to let the users know what this field does or as some helpful information. For now, I'll just leave it blank. Now, I will first need to connect the Google account in which the Google Sheets resides to Clappia. So I'll click on Connect with Google Drive, and a pop-up window will appear, in which you will have to select your Google account. Once you select your Google account, click on Continue. You might see this option that says See all your Google Sheets spreadsheets. Check this and then click on Continue. Once you do that, your Google account will be connected to your workplace. Do keep in mind that only workplace admins or app admins will be able to connect to a Google account, and any account that is connected to the workplace can be used by any other app that is created in that workplace. Now, once you have connected your Google account, you will see a drop-down appearing at the top. Click on it and select your Google account. Now you will be able to connect your Google Sheet into your app. So as I showed you earlier, I want to connect this Google Sheet into the app. So I'll copy this URL, and in my app, I will paste it under Enter Sheet URL or Sheet ID. Now under Select Columns, you will get a list of all the columns that is there in your Google Sheet. So in my Google Sheet, I have all these columns such as name, email ID, phone number, etc. All this will be made available over here. Select the columns with which you would like your users to search with. So for example, if I want my users to search the Google Sheet with their name, date, and contacted. Now based on the search criteria, you can pull up the rest of the information from the Google Sheet. So under Pull Columns, select all the columns from the Google Sheet that needs to appear in the app automatically. Let's say I just select all of them, and now I'll click on Save. Now the moment I click on Save, you can see that all these fields have automatically appeared in the app. These fields will be automatically filled in once the user uses this block to search for information from the Google Sheet. So let's see how this looks like. I'll go to App Home. Over here, you can see the Get Data from Google Sheets block. So if I click on this, it pulls up all the data from my Google Sheet, as you can see over here. The user can also type in the information that they need to search. Once they select it, all the details from the Google Sheet will automatically appear over here. Now let's see some more configurations. I'll go back to Design App. Now for the same Get Data from Google Sheets block, if I scroll to the bottom, there is an option that says Required. If you enable this option and save it, this field will now be denoted with a red star mark, which means that if you want your users to necessarily fill in this field before making a submission, they will have to do so, otherwise they will not be able to make a submission. So if I were to go to App Home, let's say I make a random submission, but I do not pull in the data from the Google Sheet. And if I click on Submit, an error appears. Now what if your users try to pull up an information from the Google Sheet that is not available? So let's say I type in some information that is not available. You can see it says no data found in sheet. You can change this prompt if you wish. In the Design App, for the Get Data from Google Sheets block, at the bottom you have the option No Record Message. You can change this if you wish. Now we have some more advanced options. So if you go to Advanced, we have the option Display this field if. You can give display conditions to your Get Data from Google Sheets block. So let's say, for example, in the app, only if the type of lead is selected as new will I want this block and its corresponding fields to appear in the app. But if the type of lead is selected as old, then I do not need these to appear. So such logic and conditions can be given over here. If you have worked with spreadsheets earlier, similar spreadsheet functions can be applied. But in the place of cell numbers, we have the concept of variable names, which you can find at the top of every field in brackets. So to pull it up, just type in @ and you will get a list of all the fields from your app. So @ type of lead equals to new. So if the type of lead equals to new, then this field will be displayed in the app. Otherwise, it will not. You also have the option retain value if hidden. Keep this enabled if you want to retain its value when your app gets a little bit more complex. I'll save it. Now I'll go back to App Home. Now as you can see, the Get Data from Google Sheets no longer appears in this app. If I select the type of lead as old, nothing happens, but if I select it as new, the block appears with its corresponding fields. Now I'll go ahead and make a submission. I filled in some random details and I'll click on Submit. You can view all your submissions under the Submissions tab. If your users have the appropriate access to the app, they will be able to view their submissions as well. Click on a submission to view all the details on the right panel. Now let's say, for example, in your Google Sheets, some information has been changed and you would like it to be reflected over here. That is possible by clicking on the refresh button. So if I make changes to contacted as yes in my Google Sheets, so let me just change that over here. Okay, now that it's changed, I'll go back to the app, and if I click on refresh, you can see it has now changed. If you do not want this, you can disable this option. In Design app, under the advanced option, we have the option that says allow value to be changed after initial submission. Disable it, save it, and now you will not be able to make any changes for this block. You can see the option has been grayed out. If you see that it still says no over here even though it changed, that is because I had not saved it earlier. If I would have saved it, it would have said yes. By connecting Google Sheets to your Clapia apps, it can be used not only for just viewing data, but you can also use the data for calculations to trigger workflows or send automated reports. And this particular feature also works on the mobile app. All you'll have to do is download the Clapia app either on Play Store or App Store, and the moment you create your app, it'll be live and ready to use over there. So let's check it out. Over here you can see my mobile screen with the Clapia app downloaded. So I'll go ahead and click on it. I'll search for my app. I'll click on it. You can see the app is live and ready to use without any additional configuration. I can even make a submission here, and as per my configuration in the app, if I click on type of lead as new, the Get Data from Google Sheets block appears in the app. And now I can go ahead and click on Submit. Even on the mobile app, you will be able to view your submissions. And if I go back to the web app, I'll just refresh this and the submission has been updated here. So in this way, you can connect your Google Sheet data to your Clapia apps. If you have any query on how to configure this block or on any other feature in Clapia, you can always request support by clicking on the button over here, or you can contact us directly to support@clapia.com and we'll be happy to assist you. Thank you.